VSTAR Universe is the name of the supposed high-class pack releasing at the end of the year in Japan. Now, we are starting to see leaks circulate for this set, and while they are extremely difficult to visually discern, the resolution on these images is horrid, they do give us a few clues and give us an idea of what to expect in this set. Now, I've been getting asked a lot about it, so I figured we'd do a quick little chat, noting that this is all speculation purely on my part. Now, the expected release date for this set is December 2, 2022, and because it's a high-class pack, it's probably going to cost the same as they always do. 5,500 yen for a box, 10 booster packs inside of a box, and 10 cards inside of a pack. Now, the thing with high-class packs that you guys got to remember is that they serve two purposes. The first is to reprint staple cards from the TCG. So, extremely important item, supporter, trainer cards always get reprinted in these sets. The second is they're kind of like a celebration of both popular Pokemon that fans love, but also of meta-defining Pokemon in the TCG. So, we should see a lot of cards like Palkia VSTAR, Dialga VSTAR, Hisuian Decidueye VSTAR might make an appearance based on recent Worlds deck lists, and of course stuff like Arceus VSTAR. Pokemon like that should be included in this set, but you should also expect to see stuff like Charizard V and Charizard VSTAR. There are leaks out there of the back of the UPC, which I'm not going to share in this video because, like I said, it's just extremely difficult to see what is actually going on those cards, but they do give us the clues as to what to expect in the set in terms of V, VMAX, and VSTAR rarities. Looking back at previous high-class packs, we can see that they kind of follow a format. GX Ultra Shiny introduced all those shiny Pokemon that we saw in Hidden Fates, and the set that followed, GX Tag Team All-Stars, didn't have shiny Pokemon. Instead, it had, I guess, special art or alternate art variations of previously released Tag Team GX cards, as well as full art supportive variants. So full art supporters that released in older sets, standard expansions during that year, they had a variant in each of those high class packs. And then Shiny Star V released, and then that kind of borrowed from GX Ultra Shiny. We saw those Shiny V and VMAX Pokemon again with full art supportive variants. And then VMAX Climax was its own unique little beast, kind of borrowing from Dream League, and that's the one that introduced all the character rares and CSRs. That high class pack was kind of the only one of its kind. VSTAR Universe looks like it's kind of gonna borrow from maybe GX Tag Team All-Stars and VMAX Climax. The reason I say that is because the leaks lead us to believe that there's going to be a lot of alternate art or special art illustrations or cards in this set. Alternate arts and special arts, I mean, it's a kind of term that you use for a higher tier of rarity in standard expansion. So you normally get that 3D CGI full art card, and then sometimes there are special art variations or alternate art illustrations as a higher rarity in the set. So, you know, you'll have Umbreon V full art, but then there'll also be Umbreon V special art like we saw in Evolving Skies. If this is the case, I think VSTAR Universe is shaping up to be an extremely huge set because it's going to try and cover, I guess, 2020, 2021, and 2022. This is an opportunity for Pokemon that didn't get alternate arts or special arts in 2020 sets to get one now, because you got to remember, alternate arts came back in 2021 with the release of Battle Styles, and in Japan, Rapid Strike and Single Strike Master. It was the first time we saw special arts in the Sword and Shield block. So I guess anything before that now has the potential to get an alternate art illustration. It's a little bit tricky because they kind of got one in VMAX Climax. If you look at stuff like Zacian V, Zamazenta V, Eternatus V in VMAX, those Pokemon, they didn't have special arts, but in VMAX Climax, they got the character secret rares or character special rares, and the illustrations basically look like alternate art. So I don't know if those Pokemon will get another go at it, but maybe any other Pokemon that missed out. So stuff like Inteleon V never really got a special art. I know Inteleon VMAX got a promo in that high class deck, but maybe stuff like Inteleon V, maybe Snorlax V and VMAX, like those Pokemon stand a chance to get special arts now. Lapras V. So you can see how the door is open for anything from 2020. It also means we're probably going to see alternate illustrations for Pokemon that missed out on special arts in 2021. And I know a lot of those Pokemon that didn't get special arts in their respective sets did get CSRs in VMAX Climax. So I'm kind of feeling like those Pokemon are ruled out. If it got a V or VMAX CSR in VMAX Climax, it's probably not going to get another variant V or VMAX in VSTAR Universe. The Pokemon that do stand to get an alternate art illustration in VSTAR Universe are Pokemon that didn't get them in the subsets from 2022, this year. So stuff like Battle Region and Dark Phantasma. If you remember Starmie V and Garchomp V, they had CSR cards. Those are basically like special arts, but Pokemon like Typhlosion, Samurott, Decidueye, they didn't get special arts, which I thought was odd, and I was really hanging out for a Typhlosion V alternate art card. So maybe it's going to get one in VSTAR Universe. I like to believe that it probably will. And then for Dark Phantasma, Hisuian Zoroark and Gudra, they didn't get Alternate Arts. Gallade and Enamorus did though. So I don't think Gallade and Enamorus will get another card, but you should see Alternate Arts. I think it's a pretty given thing for Hisuian Zoroark and Goodra. I know this video probably sounds extremely technical, and by nature it has to be because it's so speculative. I'm using a lot of terms that Pokemon collectors are familiar with. So if anything doesn't make sense, just ask a question down below and I'll get back to you. Chances are you've seen the leaked cards at some point in the last few days and you're wondering why I haven't shared them in the video. And the main reason is I just don't think it's the right thing to do in respect to the artist. It's not the way that TPCI and Creatures Inc. want the card to be revealed, and it doesn't show the card in its proper glory. So I just don't think it's right to share it and maybe give you the wrong impression of it based on the very low quality image and it being basically cut off. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. But if these leaks are real, then they give us a few clues about what to expect with the set. There's a Charizard V, VMAX, and VSTAR that got leaked based on the back image of the UPC, the Charizard UPC that's coming out. They're probably promos in the English set, but very likely main cards that you're gonna have to try and pull out of VSTAR Universe. So that means that we're probably gonna see V, VMAX, and VSTAR rarity tiers in VSTAR Universe. That means it's probably gonna be similar to Shiny Star V and GX Ultra Shiny because those boxes only had the one secret rare hit. Maybe you'd get a full art supporter as well, but you're only getting one main hit from the Pokemon in those sets. Because there aren't shiny Pokemon in this set, we won't see baby shinies. I think we can basically rule that out. So the only other thing that we might see is more character rare cards, but we saw a lot of character rare cards in all the subsets through this year, and we saw a lot of character rare cards come out in VMAX Climax. I don't feel like there's any other Pokemon that can really get character rare cards. And it would make the set extremely bloated if they are included in VSTAR Universe. So I don't think we're going to see character rare cards. I don't think the rarity tier in VSTAR Universe is going to be CHR and CSR. I think it's going to be a new rarity tier in the same way that shinies were SV for Shiny Vault. I think VSTAR Universe is probably going to introduce a new type. Now, if it does follow this new rarity tier that I'm speculating upon, then I think it's going to be a pretty huge set. And I think a lot of these cards are actually going to be difficult to pull and more expensive than the chase cards from VMAX Climax. Now, I'm not trying to create FOMO here. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I think is going to happen price-wise for this set, but I think it means that the cards are going to maybe carry a little bit more weight. Of the leaks, we've seen Mewtwo V-Star, Suicune V, and Leafeon V. So that's already like some pretty meta cards there. Leafeon V was a good deck, Suicune V, great tech card, and Mewtwo V-Star, new card that has potential. So if we see any more cards like that get V-Star, VMAX, Alternate Arts in VSTAR Universe, that's a lot of V. I think it's going to be a very big set. And if you're only finding one of those per box, you can see where it's going. The harder to pull ones like the Charizard V-Star, maybe the Mewtwo V-Star, they're going to be pretty expensive. There's a very high chance that we're going to see full art supporter variant cards in this set too. So any full art supporter card, they got a full art this year in previous sets, and most of those were characters from Legends Arceus. I think most likely is going to get a variant in this set. And any trainer or character that didn't get one, most notably Akari from Legends Arceus, I think this is probably the set where they will appear. I thought it was very curious that Akari didn't get a full art yet. And then when I thought about it a little bit more, a few people pointed out to me as well, yeah, it makes sense, VSTAR Universe. I like the idea of a very big set. Having a master set of these high class packs feels really cool. Trying to complete it is fantastic. And recently I've been kind of trading to get the last few cards I need, especially for Shiny Star V. Those reverse holos can be extremely painful. So, you know, if it's a big set, so what? It's cool. It means you've got to work a little bit harder to complete it. And then once it's done, it means a little bit more. The last thing to talk about is, I guess, a price estimation. Now, I'm not speaking about this from an investment point of view because that's super cringe. I'm talking about this from a point of view of, can I get this on day one, or do I have to wait for, I guess, the hype to cool off? Now, with VMAX Climax, it was super hyped, and pre-order prices for that before it came out, like 2 months before, were at about double MSRP, but then once it came out and dropped, it was very readily available. So VMAX Climax proved that if you outprint demand, that the price will stabilize and basically be retail. It's very difficult to resell the set. And I'm really hoping VSTAR Universe follows the same path, and it should, because if they did it with VMAX Climax, then there's no reason they won't do the same with this set. We're also kind of out of that difficulty that the pandemic created with manufacturing and distribution, I think that's kind of behind us. So I'm not expecting this to be difficult to get on day one, and you shouldn't overpay for it now, especially not now because it hasn't even been revealed yet. Based off the prices VMAX Climax was selling for, I think in the US it was like 60 to 75 USD, which was fantastic. And in Australia, about 80 to 100 AUD. So you gotta remember those prices factoring taxes and shipping. All in all, it's a pretty good price for what are some of the best Japanese sets. So I'm expecting the same thing to happen here with VSTAR Universe. The only exception between this and VMAX Climax is that VMAX Climax, a lot of the cards in it weren't that rare. And because you were getting the 3 character rares plus the V or VMAX CSR, the cards weren't super valuable on day one. Because there's going to be so many cards in VSTAR Universe, or I'm expecting there to be so many, and they're going to be harder to pull because you're only really getting 1 per box. And again, this is all speculation. You very well might get 1 V and then 1 VMAX or VSTAR. That would be extremely cool if that's the case. But if it's only going to be 1 per box, I'm expecting the rare cards to be a little bit pricier in the short term. Long term, they always come down, especially when they print this set for as long as they do. And we saw that with VMAX Climax, which is only just now getting a little bit trickier to find. You know, if they follow the same trajectory as VMAX Climax, they'll be pretty easy to get on day, I guess, day 30 onwards. Anyway, that's what I think. I could be completely wrong. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. And a special thank you to all the Patreons over at Patreon. Patrick, Blue Eyed Sage, Tom Burke, Jeffrey, Carlos, Mike, Dennis, Cardiacs, Otto, Tyler, Matthew, Viet, Donnie, Perry, Sean, 1 Miss Jane, and 10 Box. Thank you so much for your support. I'll see you guys in the next one.